Welcome back to another episode of Plant-Based Dads. I'm Joey. We are a mostly vegan whole food cooking channel. We do some product reviews. If you like what you hear, please hit that like button, show us some love, and please think about subscribing and becoming part of the Plant-Based Dads family. We do have a Patreon page set up. Our patrons are monthly financial supporters that help us get the show together and get the plant-based message out to the public. If you ever thought about becoming part of the team, if you've ever watched the show or the YouTube group and thought, how can I help? How can I be part of this? That's how you can help. You can join Patreon. We also have a link for PayPal below where you can make a one-time donation if you'd rather do that. All right, Christmas is behind us, New Year's is coming up, and 2022 is about to start. And starting on January 3rd, we'll be having our first monthly 21-day Starch Challenge. The monthly challenge is a way to get people involved in doing a high-starch, low-fat, more unprocessed whole food way of living and eating to get into better shape and to help with health issues and all that. So January 3rd will be the first monthly challenge. I'll put out a video and a message in the group about that. Join us on that and get your New Year's started off right. I got a lot of time to make up for between my mom visiting, my sister's wedding, my family visiting for the holidays. It's time to get back on track and start focusing on me. We'll hope to see you there. I've got some of my holiday friends with me. I've got Leroy, who's always with me during the holiday period. Say hello, Leroy. He doesn't say much. And Little Red's back. Today, Little Red is dressed up in his gaming outfit. You can see here he's got the shirt on that says Eat, Sleep, Game, Repeat. And he's got his little joystick controller there, and he's playing some type of fight 'em, rock 'em, sock 'em game there. All of Little Red's clothes are furnished by theredelfshop.com. Theredelfshop.com is a one-stop place for you to just jump on there and get your elf clothes. I love everything they do over there. I don't have any association with them. They're not a sponsor of the show. I don't get paid for this, but they send me these clothes and I absolutely love them because they're for the elf. So check out theredelfshop.com and tell Juliana over there that I sent you. So today's recipe is all about creamy corn chowder. It's a pretty simple recipe. There's a few steps, but you're using basic ingredients. It's dairy-free, it's nut-free, we're not using cashews. It's absolutely delicious, and it's one of my favorite new recipes. I love the chunkiness, but at the same time, it's very creamy. We've been eating this a lot, and it is an amazing winter's soup. So let's just jump right to it. I can't wait to show you what I did with this. Let's get to the food. The first thing I'm gonna need to do is cut up some vegetables. I'm gonna jump right in here with my Strong Gladiator Series 5-inch Santoku knife. This will make real quick work of slicing up these potatoes. Here I'm starting with some peeled potatoes that I have in water so they don't brown. I'm gonna cut them in half, and then I'm gonna take the halves and slice them the long way, and then turn them and slice them the short way. I just wanna make bite-sized chunks out of them. I used a total of 3 cups of yellow potatoes peeled. After I was done chopping them up, I put some more water into the measuring cup just to keep them submerged so they don't turn brown. Then I'm going to set them aside to use later on. Now for some vegetable chopping. I'm using my Strong Gladiator Series vegetable knife here, and I absolutely love this thing. You can see here it's a beautiful sharp knife with a somewhat serrated edge. This thing is a lean, mean cutting machine. Let's get to work. I'm just cutting the ends off the carrot here, and then I'm going to cut it into bite-sized slices. And I'm going to keep going down until I've cut up all these carrots into little pieces. You can dice these up if you want, but I like the look of the sliced carrots in the soup. Next, I'm just going to gather the slices up and put them in this little prep bowl so they're ready to go. Carrots, done. Next, I've got 2 habanero peppers. I'm just going to cut the ends off with my knife, and then I'm going to slice down the center to open it up. Then I'm going to use my knife just to get off the veiny part. You can see here it works pretty simple. And then I've washed it off to get all the seeds out of it, and now I'm just going to cut the skin here into strips. Then I'll just gather the strips and start cutting them the short way to make little pieces out of it. This beautiful knife does a great job in dicing up this pepper. Now I'm just going to gather this up and use the knife just to dice it up into little pieces. And we're about ready to go here. I'm just going to gather all my pieces up using the other side of the knife and get it into my prep bowl. Now I'm cutting into a second one here, but if you notice, it's brown. To me, I'm not eating this. I don't know if it's still good or not, but it doesn't look good to me. You can see it's just brown and kind of slimy, and I don't think so. I need 2 for this recipe, but now I'm only gonna have 1, so it just won't be as spicy. Now I've got a red bell pepper, and I'm just doing the same thing I did with the habanero. I'm just slicing and dicing until I get to cut it into little diced bite-sized pieces. Here I am gathering it up, and you can see it's ready to go. Next, I've got some garlic. I'm just gonna use my knife to cut this into little diced pieces. I'm gonna make sure I get these real small because I don't wanna bite into big chunks of garlic. And here we are, we're ready to go. Next, I've got a red onion. I've sliced off the ends, and now I'm gonna cut it down the middle. Here I am peeling off the outer layer where the dry, flaky skin is. And now I've got my little onion dice, so I'm just gonna pop it on here, press it down, give it a little push, and it goes right through and dices the onion. And then I'll put the other part on and do the same thing. This just makes it too easy. This is one of my favorite kitchen tools, and there'll be a link below this video in case you're interested. Now it's time to start cooking. In a stock pot, I'm gonna be adding the potatoes that we cut up, right with the water and all of it. Next, I'm gonna adding a bunch more water just to make sure I've got them completely submerged for cooking. Now I'm adding 4 cups of frozen corn, right from a large bag of Costco frozen corn. I wanna make sure I get it all out of the measuring cup. I'm gonna stir that all up just so it cooks evenly, and I'm gonna bring it to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, I'm gonna stir it up a little bit and then turn the heat down for medium-low and cook it for about 10 minutes until the potatoes are fork tender. After about 10 minutes, I'm gonna bring up some of the potatoes and just see if I can cut them with the fork. If I can, like they're cutting right here with not only with the front of the fork, but with the side of the fork like this, then I know they're ready to go. I'm gonna drain these in the sink. These are done. Next, I need to start making the cream sauce. In a blender, I'm adding 5 cups of riced cauliflower. This is a big bag from Costco, and I cooked it in the microwave per the manufacturer instructions. So this is steam cooked microwave riced cauliflower. Next, I'm adding another 4 cups of corn. This is the same frozen corn. I just threw it in the measuring cup with water and let it cook in the microwave. So again, this is cooked. And then I'm adding 3 cups of water to this. Now I'm gonna put the top on and take off the little steam vent so the steam has somewhere to go. And I'm gonna blend this till nice, silky, and smooth. I do not recommend doing this with the top off because it goes everywhere. Here you can see it's nice and creamy smooth. I'm just gonna use a spoon here and show you how silky creamy this is. This is gonna make a great cream for our corn chowder. Back to the stock pot, I'm adding a little bit of water so I can water saute my veggies. Once the water starts steaming, I'm gonna dump in my veggies. First go the carrots, and then right after them, I'm adding my diced red onions. I wanna make sure I get all of that in there. After that, I'm throwing in my diced garlic. Now I've got my diced red bell pepper, that's going in, and my 1 habanero pepper, but you should put in 2. Next, I'm gonna stir it all up just so it sautés evenly and cooks evenly, and that's ready to start cooking. I'm gonna saute this on medium heat for about 5 to 7 minutes until everything's nice and soft. You'll wanna keep stirring it occasionally and checking the water level. Since we're not using oil, we have to keep it wet down there, but we don't want it to be too wet, so you just have to keep after it. Here I am just checking the carrots to see if they're fork tender, which they are. So we're ready to move on with the rest of the ingredients here. Once your carrots are fork tender, you can add in the potato corn mixture that you drained in the sink after you boiled it. Make sure you get all that in there. And I'm gonna use a spatula here just to kind of make sure that everything here is incorporated. Next, I'm adding my blended corn and cauliflower cream mixture here. I'm gonna add that right to the pot, make sure I get all of it out of the blender. And I'm gonna use my spatula to kind of move all this around, incorporate it, and get it nice and evenly distributed. Now it's time for my spices. I'm adding 1/2 teaspoon of chili powder. You can adjust this to taste. Now I'm adding some of my Eat and Shake sesame seaweed flakes. I got this from Needy Girl. I'm adding 1/2 teaspoon here. Chowder traditionally has fish sauce in it, so this kind of gives you that same feel. Now I'm using my spatula to move all this around and get it nice and incorporated. I want to have it nicely mixed. After that, I'm letting it come to a boil or a bubble here, and I'm just gonna kind of keep after it and mix it up. I'm gonna let this cook for about 5 minutes. I mean, everything in here is already cooked. I just kind of want it all to incorporate together and for the spices to distribute. Then I'm gonna taste it and give it a shot and see how it tastes. If you can add more salt here or pepper or spice if you need it. Mine was absolutely delicious. Now look at this. Does this look good or what? A nice creamy, chunky corn chowder. Let's plate this baby up. I am so ready to eat. Now I've got a nice little bowl here and I'm just ladling in some of my soup. Looks really good there, right? Now I'm topping it with some extra corn that I didn't throw in the blender. And I'm putting some fresh ground pepper on top. And finally, a little sprinkle of parsley for color. There you have it, a beautiful bowl of creamy and chunky corn chowder. I can't wait to eat this. Let's eat. All right, this just smells absolutely delicious. I can smell all the vegetables in it. Take a look here. You can see that we've got this beautiful creamy texture while it's still chunky. It's an amazing sight to look at. I've put on some extra corn on top just for a topping to just, you know, for the show and the thumbnail. And then I've sprinkled some pepper on it and a little bit of dried parsley. This is a beautiful bowl of whole food goodness. I am a huge fan of corn, so anything with corn in it is good for me. I'm gonna give this a try here. I've eaten a lot of this, so I know it's really good. I just love the texture of this. I love the smooth creaminess while it's chunky. So good. This is absolutely delicious. Wow. What a great, fulfilling, robust corn taste. I can't stress enough how good this is. I'm gonna have the recipe on the blog, and you can just print it up and download it from there. It's a great holiday recipe, it's a great winter recipe, and it's just a great creamy soup recipe. So give this a shot, you're absolutely gonna love it. All right, that's our show for today. Don't forget about the January 3rd Starch Challenge coming up next week. Join us and become part of that. We'd love to have you. Don't forget to check out theredelfshop.com and tell Julian I sent you. And please, leave a comment below. Let me know your thoughts on this. You know I love to read them and answer them and interact with you guys. All right, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.